We bring in Steve Pomerantz, former FBI assistant director, to talk a little bit about this. Steve Harrigan, he does not use words lightly in my experience. He talked about a real sense of anger. 36 times the Broward County Police went to the home of Nikolas Cruz. The FBI, your former organization, with a call to their tip line that basically outlined what this guy was going to do. Yeah. How big of a miss was this?
Big miss. This is your worst nightmare come true. You know, law enforcement people are caricatured in a certain way very often, unfairly. I think everybody from local police officers and deputy sheriffs to every FBI agent that I've ever known do what they do because they really want to protect people. You know, it says it on the side of many police cars in this country, serve and protect, and that's what it's all about. And to miss like this is just a horrible, terrible tragedy. It's
one thing to miss when you show up at a guy's house. You realize this guy is a weird kid. He may do things that people find unsettling, but to go from that to school shooting is a big deal. If this holds true, this was a call to the FBI tip line saying this guy is going to carry out a school shooting, and it's not like the FBI followed up on it and then decided, gee, there's nothing to charge him with. They didn't even pick up the phone.
Yeah, if the reporting and what we're hearing is true, then your characterization would be accurate. And again, that's just the worst possible outcome, not to follow through.
Rick Scott called for the FBI director to resign over this. Is that the right answer, or is that knee-jerk?
You know, I have to leave that to others. I don't know if that's the right answer. Certainly, there has to be an extraordinarily thorough inquiry as to what happened. Why did, if again what we're hearing is accurate, how did this happen? And people, if it turns out to be human error, which it appears that that's the way it's going to turn out, people have to be held accountable. And it's always a question, how far up the line is that accountability? And that's, I don't think that's for me to say.
You don't hear what we've heard in the past when the FBI missed things, whether it be the Boston bombers or the Fort Hood shooter. You heard a lot of defense of the FBI as we're watching video of the suspect being taken down. President Obama once said, look, this is really hard stuff. You don't hear that defense right now. In fact, you hear almost sort of mocking of the Bureau. Take a listen to Tucker Carlson last night.
But at least we know what our federal agents have been doing recently, why they were too busy to stop school shootings. They've been chasing down bad Facebook trolls. If only someone had told them Cruz was talking to Vladimir Putin, they would have been on it, presumably.
There's an irony there that as we read about the Mueller investigation and indictments, that the FBI missed a massive Russian intelligence operation from 2014 to 2016 to interfere in the U.S. election, and Russian agents coming into the United States to help carry it out.
I think we need to know a lot more before we make that kind of conclusion that they missed that they missed all that.
There's no evidence that they knew about it or tried to stop it.
The successes that the FBI has every day in all of these kinds of stopping these kinds of intelligence operations, stopping terrorist attacks, and stopping criminals is often overlooked. I don't know.
I always wonder about that because it's a common talking point. Oh, our successes are always silent.
It's true.
But really, because oftentimes that the successes are paraded out, and there's press conferences with indictments, and there's plots that are stopped.
You just said the key word, Leland. If there are arrests and indictment, yes. But many times these kinds of things are stopped, especially in the counterintelligence field, well short of arrests and indictments. For example, you've heard the term PNG, persona non grata, when espionage agents who are representing another country are merely sent back, kicked out of our country based on FBI investigations. So there's truth on both sides of this.
And given how much heat the Bureau's taken, you have to wonder if they're going to make a few of their successes a little more public in the coming weeks and months, if they can. Steve, always good to see you.
Thank you, sir.